it comes to the Islamic ideas of reform, we need to have them in circulation. Otherwise, people will not be able to go in those directions. If the solutions we want to offer are not available, then who is going to be able to take up the solutions that the Muslim community has to offer, that the Quran has to offer? Now, actually, this idea is not a theory that I have created. Actually, it's a very famous economic theory. One of the godfathers of the liberal age, by the name of Milton Friedman, he was a giant economist, especially of this era, created this idea and said that in crisis, often whether it be a real crisis or an imagined crisis, this is what produces real change within society. And then he elaborated on this idea that whatever ideas are in circulation, are lying around at that time, that will win the day. Now, the reason as to why he presented this idea was because he was a fervent capitalist. His idea was that if the marketplace wants to be able to capture opportunities, always keep yourself at the tip of the opportunity of a crisis. Maximize the crisis at hand. This came to be known as disaster capitalism. When a disaster occurs, you will often see that giant conglomerates, corporations, they swoop in, don't they? They take advantage of the situation. If you had invested in Pfizer 18 months ago, you would have reaped the benefits of it. If you had invested in Amazon, you would have reaped the benefits of it. Do you know how much market capitalization, especially those businesses that are doing deliveries, Deliveroo and things like that, can you imagine the amount of money that they have made compared to what they were starting with 2 years ago, 3 years ago? The marketplace understands how to capitalize on crisis. The challenge has been that we have not understood how to capitalize on crisis. This idea by Friedman was then adopted by a great author by the name of Naomi Klein. Klein wrote a work called The Shock Doctrine. She based the book on Friedman's idea, the idea that when there's a crisis, the marketplace should take advantage and make sure the solutions go through the market instead of the needs of the people. So you make the rich richer, and of course, those people who are disoriented during a crisis, like you and I, because we're fighting with each other, because we don't know what is truth and what is false, because we're being pushed from pillar to post, whilst we're constantly fighting with each other, the marketplace captures the moment and maximizes it to their benefit and to our disadvantage. Klein wrote her work in response to Friedman and wrote the work, The Shock Doctrine, that when a shock takes place, how people have to be aware of the market capitalizing on the opportunities and not fall into those traps. And actually for people to come together to make those changes instead of the market making those changes for us. Because then the market will take the direction and you and I will be forced to go in that direction. As opposed to saying that we see a crisis in front of us. What changes need to be made permanently such that you and I can make a change within society? Society can be better, not worse, at the end of the crisis.